But yeah, dude. I mean, I guess I could get to this other situation too. Regarding DV, I know someone brought it up here on the chat. I forgot who it was. Sorry, I just saw the comment real fast. But yeah, there was a girl that recently came out. Her not too sure. Her boyfriend Evan Johnson was arrested, but she had like this whole thing on TikTok how she was treated by him. So hold on, I had saved this last week, but of course
Evan
forgot to show it.
Johnson has got to be stopped. For those that don't know, creator Kayla Malik recently came out against her ex-boyfriend Evan Johnson. In her videos, she has shared proof and stories about Evan committing DV against her. And since her video, even more people have started coming out against Evan, like this guy Ezra, who is actually a former friend of Evan. According to him, he was friends with Evan and he even went into business with Evan. He started a business, got Evan on board, and then Evan tried to steal the business from him without him having any say. According to Ezra, Evan also told people that he started the business, even though Ezra had started it, not Evan. And Evan even got violent with Ezra one time after Ezra told a girl that Evan brought over that he was the one that started the business, because Evan had apparently lied to the girl and told her that he started it. That's not bad enough. After Evan was arrested one time and he was about to go on trial for what he did, he allegedly tried to get Ezra to, quote, take the charge for him.
Oh hey, oh hell nah.
What the hell? What the hell?
Hell nah. No, thank you.
Telling Ezra that he would be a good friend if he would just take the charge and do the time instead of him. Evan's lawyer was apparently present when this happened, and even the Evan Johnson.
Yeah, dude. I honestly don't know the type of content Evan Johnson does, but this story was going viral on TikTok. So yeah, let me see if I could pull
October
up.
30th.
Yeah, so this is where it starts. This is where her story time starts. So grab your snacks, your popcorn, and also trigger warning. Okay. Um. Yeah. Let's see.
2024. It was literally the day before Halloween, and I had flown down to Nashville because I had a collection dropping on November 1st. So I wanted to be in Nashville for this collection so that I wasn't like in LA partying for Halloween, and I could just be in Nashville going to like a calm house party and asleep by midnight so that I could like prepare for the drop. Basically so that I just wouldn't go feral. So I had booked me and my boyfriend an Airbnb in Nashville for like a week. But on October 30th, we got invited to a house party, and I remember we pulled up to this house party like relatively really late. So by the time we got there, we walk into where the house party was at, and we ended up meeting up with another group of his friends. It was like 4 guys and 2 girls. It might have been all guys, but it was like his friend group. And we met up with them, and we walk into the house where the house party is supposed to be. And when we walk in, it's like completely empty. There's nobody there. And all of us are basically just standing in the kitchen like, oh, party's over. Like, we all showed up too late. And so I'm just standing in the kitchen being like, I'm ready to go. It's dead. There's nobody here. There's no party. And he ends up walking into the backyard with another one of his friends. And I'm in the kitchen with like 3 of his other friends. And I'm standing next to one of them that I have never even met before, never even had a conversation with before. Because at this point in our relationship, I wasn't allowed to talk to any other guys, even if they were his friends. So like I knew not to make conversation with anybody. So like after.
Okay, that's just a red flag right there, dude. You weren't allowed to talk to his guy. Oh, okay. Yeah, man. Listen, ladies. If a guy ever tells you do not talk to my guy friends, do not talk to guys, get the fuck out. Like, no, come on. Red flag. Hello. Red flag.
After 5 seconds, my boyfriend like starts walking out of the backyard back into the main house because the party ended up not being in the backyard, but he went back there to check. And his friend next to me is like, I think we should go. And I'm like, yeah, I agree. Like, let's go. So I walk out of the front door. My boyfriend's behind me, and we like literally all walk out of the house. So me and my boyfriend get back into the car, and he's like, why were you only ready to go when my friend was ready to go?
Oh,
and I was like, what are you talking about? And he starts accusing me of only wanting to leave the house party because his friend said that he wanted to go, and that's the only reason I wanted to leave. And I'm like, there was nobody at the house. Like there was nobody at the house. It wasn't a house party. Like I was ready to go the second we walked in, but your friend said that he was ready to go, so I was just agreeing with him. Like I don't even know what you're trying to insinuate. So he basically just starts yelling at me and is like accusing me of like I don't even know. Like I don't even know. I don't even know what he like. It was so dumb. So he's like, well, I want to go through your phone to make sure that you didn't add him on Snapchat. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Because at this point, like, going through my phone was like normal. Like, it was like almost an everyday thing. So he goes on my phone. He obviously sees that I didn't.
Okay, that's not normal, ladies. Let me just tell you. even for guys, bro, you shouldn't let your partner go through your phone on a daily, bro. Because if there's no trust, there's no relationship. Okay, and that's coming from an independent artist. All right, chat.
No one's gonna. That's all I'm gonna say. Coming from an independent artist.
Thank you.
At his friend, he was literally like, the doors to the backyard were glass. Like, I know he knows that. He knew I didn't add him. You know, it was, I don't know what the point of that was. And so he has my phone and he checks and he's like, well, when we get back home, I actually want to like go through your phone. Like, I'm going to go through your phone. And I was like, okay, whatever. And so at that point, I don't know how, but we start arguing and things start escalating. I think I was just like pissed off because I was like, what are you even trying to argue about right now? And things end up escalating to where, like at the car wash, he grabs my hair and slams my head up against the car window. That day, like, I just was not taking that shit. So after he banged my head into the window, I opened the car door and like we're in the middle of a random neighborhood, pulled over, and I get out and I'm like, I'm not driving with you. Like, I'm not driving with you. Just slammed my head up against the window for no reason, accusing me of doing something you know I didn't do. And he's just screaming at me to get back in the car. And at this point, since he had gone through my phone and wanted to go through my phone when we got back to the Airbnb, he still had it. So I couldn't call an Uber. I didn't have a phone, and I'm standing in the middle of a random neighborhood at like 12:30. But he's just screaming at me to get back in the car, and I don't know, I got back in the car because I was like, what the fuck am I gonna do? So I get back in the car, and we just start driving, and the entire time, it's like an hour-long car ride, 45-minute car ride back to the Airbnb, and he would not give me my phone. I was not allowed to have my phone. I was not allowed to touch my phone. I wasn't even allowed to, like,
Oh my gosh.
like, even if I was like, hey, I'll have it on, like, right next to you, like, I want to, like, go on Snapchat or something, I wasn't allowed to go on my phone. So we kept my phone, and after 45 minutes, I don't even think we talked the entire car ride. I was, like, so upset and, like, frustrated. I was more frustrated that I couldn't even call a fucking Uber. Like, I didn't want to, I was so, like, what are you mad about right now? Why are you treating me like this? And so we get back to the Airbnb, and the second we pull into the garage, he's like, I know you have your second phone here. I want you to bring me that as well. So he tells me to go upstairs. I have like a time limit. I better not take too long. The phone that I have, the second phone, better still be dead. I'm not allowed to charge it, not allowed to turn it on. He wants both of my phones to go through. I go upstairs, I grab the phone, I give it to him. And at this point, he has both of my phones. I have no phone, obviously. And for almost 3 hours, he sits in his car in the garage and goes through both of my phones. And I was just upstairs crying, eating Taco Bell, watching a movie. I literally watched a full movie, I think, that night, and I was just crying. Because I like, it's, like, so dehumanizing. I felt like a pet. Like, I literally felt like his pet. And so after, like, 2-3 hours, it's, like, 3:30 in the morning at this point, 4 in the morning, he comes up into the room. I remember he walked in, and he just smiled at me and threw my phone at me, like, on me. And, went to bed and acted like nothing happened. And mind you, he found nothing on either phone, obviously, but he just 3 hours going through my phone after slamming my head into a window because his friend said, I think it's time to go. Like, we should go. And I said, yeah, we should go. For what?
Oh wow, I didn't know her I don't know it was this bad, dude. I honestly didn't know that it was this bad, but yeah, man, she has a bunch more videos, which we'll see. But as you guys see, they went hella viral, over 1 million views. Oh shit, bro.
So after October 30th, November 17th happened, and I already talked about that. That was probably one of the worst times of the abuse, but I've already shared that story. So, but after November 17th, up until end of December, it was mainly just verbal abuse. I shared a lot of those stories in part 2. So, yeah. But the next one that it's just like, what the fuck, was New Year's Eve. So New Year's Eve, December 31st, 2024, my sister and her fiance ended up flying down to California, we could all go to Vegas for New Year's, and my, sister's boyfriend was going to propose to her. So I ended up telling my friends about it. So Brennan and Emma also came with. So it was Brennan, Emma, Ben, my sister's fiance, my sister, and then my boyfriend and me, and we all decided to drive down to Vegas for New Year's. And mind you, everybody obviously besides my sister knew that she was getting proposed to, including my boyfriend. And I remember I sat him down and I told him, if you get mad.
Oh hell no, I haven't seen this video, But he had better not spoil the surprise, dude.
About any dumb things tonight. I need you to save it till tomorrow because like it's her day and I don't want you to ruin it for her. And this was also like one of his first times meeting my sister
Yeah, he ruined
and
it
her
for
now
sure.
fiance. So good impressions. So we end up going to the strip and we're all just like walking around having a good time. And midway through the night, I don't know what happened, but my boyfriend started accusing me of being a whore and said that I wanted to F my sister's boyfriend. So the whole night, he's just mad at me, saying,
Dude, that's fucking like, you're sick in the head, dude. What? Your mama said my ex baby daddy slammed my head at a bar on the counter after watching me laugh with another guy. Huge fight broke out, and I'm the only one that went to jail. Wow. I'm sorry that happened, your mama. But that is crazy. That you got assaulted and you're the one that went to jail. That is fucking nuts.
F my sister soon to be fiance and won't talk to me for like the whole day. And I'm just trying not to let this ruin my mood because I wanted to be happy for my sister. She was about to get proposed to, and it was just embarrassing. So I was just trying to act like everything was fine. And so he's ignoring me for a majority of the night. He's going up to my sister's fiance saying that I was a whore, that he wants to end things with me, just like going on rants and whatever. So at like 11:55, we end up all walking out to the fountain to watch the fireworks. And my boyfriend starts trying to like make a scene with me. And I'm like, you need to stop because like he's about to propose to her once the clock hits midnight. And so he's like, oh, we can't kiss once the clock hits midnight. And I'm like, no, I need to record this video. Like, he was just being very selfish and like trying to make the thing about him and trying to have a crash out. And then I don't even know. It was just like a whole mess. So the clock hits midnight. My sister gets proposed to, and after I record the video, I look at my boyfriend and I want to have like a romantic New Year's kiss. Fireworks are going off, and the whole time the fireworks are going off, we're just arguing. And he's saying that he just can't deal with me, that he knows I want to F my sister's fiance. And
that's fucking nuts,
yeah, we
dude.
didn't even like really have a New Year's kiss. He was just yelling at me and calling me a slut. So after that, I'm paying the $50 and like storms inside. And I remember the lady giving the tickets looks at me and she goes, that is not the one, girl. And then I give her my $50 and I walk inside. And I'll never forget this. I walk inside and he's in front of me. And he turns around and he looks at me dead in the eyes and he goes, I hate you, and turns around. All because he had to pay a $50 cover. He effing hated me.
Wow.
So,
Yo, mama, thank you so much. My friend is now is in this now, so annoying she won't leave. Can't even be around her anymore. Damn. Yeah, man. A lot of people go through this shit.
I run into the bathroom and I just start crying. I didn't want to like ruin anybody's night, so I just was like in there for 5 minutes crying because my boyfriend just told me he effing hated me on New Year's. How great does that feel? All because of $50. So I walk out and he's standing like outside of the bathroom looking at me. And last thing he said to me that night was, you just F'd somebody in that bathroom. And I turn around and I saw that it was an all-gender bathroom. So then he thought that I had F'd somebody in the bathroom because it was...
Bro, this guy is sick in the head. She couldn't do anything, bruh. She honestly couldn't do anything. He would make stories up in his own head, bruh.
It was a gay club and there was an all-binary bathroom. So, and then he didn't talk to me for the rest of the night. And I remember we got back home that night and he had just thrown himself in bed. He didn't talk to me. He just went to bed immediately. And I go into the kitchen with Ben and Ashley and I'm just like, I remember I asked Ben, I was like, have you ever told Ashley that you hated her? And he was like, no, I would never do that. And that's kind of when I was like, So I go into my bedroom and I sit next to him while he's sleeping and I grab my notebook and I write in it, put yourself first, for a New Year's resolution. And then we wake up the next morning. He's acting like nothing happened. So, yeah. So after New Year's Eve, I really started to
Hold on, let me open it again. I have to play it, but
I sense
faster
that there's some
speed.
heavy hitters watching me
so
tonight.
Yo, thank you, your mama. That sounds like some paranormal mental illness stuff. On therapy, yep. It is, dude. He's hella paranoid. He was hella paranoid during this relationship. But okay, let me play this now.
after New Year's Eve, um, I really started to realize that he didn't love me, and that when he said he effing hated me that night, that he meant it. Because he didn't love me, he hated me, he resented me, he hated me, and he meant it that night. So for the next 2 weeks, I was completely numb to my friends, my family, him, myself, because the man that is living with me does hate me and doesn't feel bad when he puts his hands on me. And for some reason, it took him looking me in the eyes and saying he effing hated me for me to finally start to see it. So January 13th, I decided to take me, Brennan, Emma, and my boyfriend and me to Hawaii in an attempt to fix the numbness and fix what was going on. And this was the beginning of the end. This was the beginning of the end. Probably gonna have to split the Hawaii trip into 2 parts. But we get there on January 13th, and the vibes were okay at the airport and stuff. He was talking to Brent, and he was sorry, he was talking to Emma, and I mean, at this point, Brennan and Emma obviously didn't like him for what they knew that he had done, what he had done to Brennan. But we were all just
question: if you guys follow this, if you guys follow Kayla, sorry, is she talking? Is Brennan and Emma also on the internet? Are they also on the internet, or are they just friends of hers? If anyone knows, please tell me in chat.
trying to like be one big happy family. So we end up picking up our mopeds that day, and we drive 2 hours from one side of the island to the other to get to the Airbnb. And we get there, and I'm talking to Brennan and Emma, and like my boyfriend is just like, I don't know, like all of us.
Okay, is Brennan the guy that does like food reviews on YouTube?
Sudden it was like a flip switch, and like he wouldn't talk to me, and he wouldn't talk to Emma, and he wouldn't talk to Brennan, and he was being like very antisocial. Later to find out it is a form of narcissism when, you know, I have other friends and talk to them. He's mad that the attention isn't on him, so he creates issues. So we spend the first day, I'm not sure exactly what we do, but I remember I'm pretty sure this was the first day, we end up going out to dinner down the road from our Airbnb. And the whole dinner he's on his phone. He's not talking to me, he's not talking to Brennan, he's not talking to anybody. Like he wasn't talking to anybody. And I remember I posted this on my story a couple days ago. We even asked the waiter to take a group picture of us for like the first day in Hawaii, and the waiter took the picture, and in it everybody's like making a face, you know, whatever, and he's just sitting there looking at the camera straight faced, just like mad for no reason. So day 2, I wake up, and Brennan and Emma wanted to take Instagram pictures like on the backyard of the Airbnb because it was on a golf course. So I wake my boyfriend up, it's like 8 a.m. and I'm like, hey, do you want to come take Instagram pictures with us? We'll be in the backyard, like we just want to get some pictures. And he's like, no, I don't want to go, and like goes back to bed. So I go into the backyard, and we're back there for like an hour just taking pictures, having fun, like just having a good time. And yeah, it takes like an hour. I come back inside, and my boyfriend is like, oh, what were you doing back there? And I'm like, oh, we were taking Instagram pictures, and I was wearing a bikini in the Instagram pictures. And he starts getting mad at me for wearing the bikini in front of Brennan and having him take the pictures. And he's like, did you have Brennan take the pictures of you in your bikini? And I'm like, yeah, like he took some, Emma took some, like they both took pictures for me. And I don't know, immediately I knew what kind of trip this was going to be. So he gets upset with me about that, and then we decide we want to go drive around, find the beach. And so we drive about like 30 minutes on the mopeds, and we have this like direct location of this place called like Ovine Pools or something in North Shore. So we stop at Publix like right across the road from there, and we go in to get like sushi or drinks. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but we go in there to get that. And he ends up getting whatever he needed first. And so he walks outside, and I'm thinking he's just outside waiting. But like 5 minutes later, when we walk out with our food, we go out there, and he's just like gone. He ditched us. So I start calling him. He's not answering. And finally he picks up, and I'm like, where are you? And he's like, you have my location, bitch, and hangs up. And I'm like, what the fuck? So we pull up to his location. He's like across the street, and he's like in the woods. So I park my moped, and I go down there to try to talk to him. And we're like on the side of this cliff with like trees everywhere, and we're talking. And I'm like, what is going on? You're being really standoffish. You're being weird. You're not talking to anybody. Like, I don't understand what's going on. And he looks at me, and he's like, I just feel like I'm living in your shadow. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Everybody's been trying to talk to you the whole trip. I've been trying to talk to you, Brendan, Emma. Like, you're not talking to anybody. Like, you're being weird. You're being weird. You're not living in my shadow. You're being like antisocial because my entire attention isn't on you. Like, it's supposed to be a group trip, not like a double date trip with my friends. Like, what? And so he basically is just yelling at me, and he's like, I'm done. I'm done with you. Like, this is done. I'm done. So I walk back to the mopeds, and me, Brendan, and Emma end up just getting in the water and swimming, and I'm just trying to not let it ruin my trip. And so like 30 minutes later, he gets into the water, and he slaps my ass as hard as he can. And I like kind of like look like this, and he looks at me, and he's like, oh, you didn't have a reaction to me slapping your ass. You probably thought it was Brennan. And I was like,
oh my,
what are you talking about? And so then,
dude, I'm getting so pissed off for her, dude. What the fuck, dude? Oh my gosh, bro. Guys are fucking crazy, dude. Men are fucking crazy.
He ends up swimming over to Emma and is like, I don't think Brennan's gay. And so then Emma just jumps into the water and is like, I'm not doing this. So I get back on the sand and I go on my phone and I check my story. And I see that after this man had told me he was done with me, still hasn't talked to me about what he said, instead just slapped my ass as hard as he could and then accused me of thinking it was Brennan, posted on my story saying, hey guys, I'm pretty cool, add me, and then put his Snapchat tag on there before even talking to me. So I ended up deleting it off my story, obviously, and he gets out of the water like 20 minutes later and without even saying anything to me, goes on his phone, sees I deleted it, and starts yelling.
Self-promoting or what?
At me for deleting it off of his story, or off of my story, his thing. Yeah. So I'm gonna split this into 2 parts, but yeah. So when it came to a close, so we're still in Hawaii, and I spend the second day basically just not really talking to him. I'm really upset over how he had been treating me this trip and how he had posted on my story, all that. And so the third day, we're in Hawaii, we wake up, and immediately he's on one. But we decided that we were going to go drive our mopeds 2 hours to Honolulu to go cliff jumping. So we get on the mopeds, we are sitting talking on the mopeds for like 5 minutes, and then we decided to start heading over there. On the way there, we stopped at a gas station, and Brennan and Emma went into the gas station, and I'm outside filling up our mopeds with gas, and my boyfriend comes up to me, and he's like, why were you I-effing Brennan? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he was like, while we were all sitting on the mopeds talking, you were just staring at him, you were I-effing him, like, starts going on this whole rant about how I was I-effing Brennan. And I'm just like, I don't...
Bro, she can't even look. Oh my God, bro. You know what? I'm glad. I'm glad he's arrested, bro. Cause, bro, this is fucking insane. Okay, this is fucking nuts, dude.
I don't know what you were talking about. I was probably looking at him while he was talking. Like, I don't even know what I-effing means. And so then he's like, well, from the day that you grabbed his face like that at the bar, and now you're I-effing him, I want you to tell me right now that you wanna hook up with him, or I'm gonna go into that gas station and fight him. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, I'm gonna go in there and fight him if you do not tell me right now that you want to F Brennan, because I saw the way you were looking at him. And I didn't know what to do. I didn't want Brennan to get assaulted for no reason. I didn't even know what he was talking about. So I just looked at him, I go, yeah, I want to F Brennan. And my boyfriend storms into the gas station. Brennan walks out and he's like, is everything okay? And I was too scared to even talk to him. I didn't want my boyfriend to freak out. So I just like nodded my head. I didn't say anything to him. I couldn't look at him. I was like scared. So we end up all getting on our mopeds like 10 minutes later, and we start driving to the cliff jumping spot. By the time we get there, he's just being quiet, not really talking, and I'm kind of just talking to Emma at this point, because I'm just like, what is going on? And he would do stuff like this a lot, to where he would like do things that he knew would hurt me that weren't always punching. Like, he would pinch me as hard as he could, or like grip my hair like this, or like try to rip my arm hairs out, or like slap me, just to doing things that would hurt me. And I remember I'm sitting there just like tanning or talking to Emma or something, and I'm really sunburned at this point, and he just reaches over, lifts his hand up like this, and slaps my sunburn as hard as he can for no reason. So then fast forward, I'm just like in the water swimming with Emma, and I'm talking to her, and I'm just like, I feel really unhappy right now. Like, he's really being rude to me. He's treating me horribly. Ever since New Year's, I feel like I've kind of been opening my eyes, and I was basically ranting to her in the water, and I was like, I just feel like I need to talk to him. So I get out of the water, and I go up to him, and I'm like, hey, tonight, do you think we could like have a talk? Like, I'm kind of just not happy. And he looks at me, he's like, no, we're gonna talk now. We're gonna talk now. And I'm like, I don't want to talk now. Like, this is gonna be like a 2-hour long conversation. Like, I don't want to do this here. I don't want to have this conversation here. And he's like, no, we're talking now, bitch. So he grabs my arm, and he drags me across the cliffs, and he like sits me down on the cliff, and he's like, well, what's up? Like, what's up? And
On a cliff? Yeah, no. On a cliff.
And I was just like, I'm not having this conversation with you right now. I'm not having this conversation with you here. It's like a 2-hour conversation. We're going to have it tonight. Like, let's just have this conversation tonight. And he's just like screaming at me, no, we're having it here. We're having it here. No, you can say it here. You're going to tell me now. And I'm just standing my ground. I'm like, I'm not ruining this. Like, I want to go cliff jumping. I don't want to talk to you about this right now. And so he ends up getting up, and I'm walking behind him, and he turns around and he goes, I can't wait to go back to Nashville to F my ex. But like says her full name. He goes, I cannot wait to go back to Nashville and F my ex. And then goes and sits down on his towel. And I forgot to mention.
Yeah, he was definitely cheating on her, bro.
Before this happened, before this altercation had happened, me and Emma were trying to jump into the water, and we wanted somebody to record it. So I was like, oh, my boyfriend can record it. So I go up to him, and I'm like, hey, are you jumping off the cliff? Because I needed somebody to film the video. And he goes, yeah, I'm jumping. So I look at him, and I'm like, oh. All I said was, oh, because we were looking for somebody to find the video. So, oh, are you going to record the video? No, I'm not. Oh. And that was it. And for some reason, that set him off, and he looks at me, and mind you, there's people everywhere. He goes, bitch. And for 10 minutes, just starts saying, you're a bad bitch, you're an ugly bitch, you're a wrinkly bitch. Is just calling me like all these names in front of everybody, over and over. You're a bad bitch, you're a fat bitch, like just over and over and over and over again. And he just wouldn't stop to the point where like people were looking. And that's when I just like went to the cliffs and jumped off with Emma. And that's when I was talking to her in the water, and then that happened. But yeah, for 10 minutes, just screaming at me, calling me a ugly bitch, fat bitch, a wrinkly bitch, like just everything, all because I said oh. Anyways, fast forward, he said that he can't wait to go to Nashville to F his ass.
Dude, imagine if she asked someone else to film, like another guy that was there. or just someone else. Dude, imagine the fit. Dude, yeah, there's no winning with that guy, bro. There's definitely no winning with that guy. But yeah, there's more chat.
January
There's more, believe it or not. I just gotta copy and paste it so it could go faster.
January 15th or 16th. So at this point, he had just been verbally assaulting me, grabbing me, slapping my sunburn as hard as he can, and just being rude. So at this point, I was kind of just ignoring him after everything that had happened at the cliffs. And I was at this rock talking to Emma. And all of a sudden, I hear shouting coming from where my boyfriend was. And I look, and my boyfriend is trying to fight these random guys at the cliffs for no reason. So like a group of guys comes up and they're yelling at him, and he ends up sitting down because it's like going to be a 20v1 because my boyfriend's trying to fight these guys for no reason.
20v1. That would have been nice, dude.
And one of the guys ends up coming up to me and is like, hey, is that your boyfriend? And I remember feeling so embarrassed to be like, yeah, that is. And he's like, he has to go. Like, he has to go. And I remember sitting there being like, what am I doing? My boyfriend just got us kicked out of a cliff jumping spot in Hawaii because he's trying to fight people. And I don't know, the guy was like, you have to get him to leave. Like, nobody wants him here. He's trying to fight people. Like, he's just really aggressive and nobody knows why. So I was like, okay, that's fine. And then after that, these 3 girls came up to me and told me that they heard him calling me all these names earlier and that it's not normal. And so I walk over to where my boyfriend is and I grab my towel and I'm like, we're leaving. And I didn't want to walk out with him. I was so embarrassed. I was just like, we're leaving, meet us by the mopeds. So me and Emma walk up these cliffs and Emma goes to the mopeds and I go to the corner right here and I call Ben, my sister's fiance, and I'm just like, is it normal for a guy to call you a bitch? Like, is it normal for a guy to do this? And I started explaining the things that he had done within the last 2 hours. And he's like, no, it's not. No, it's not. And as we're on the phone, I see my boyfriend coming up the cliff and I'm like, oh, I gotta go. Because if he saw that I was on the phone with my sister's fiance, it would have been like a whole other thing. So I walk up to him as he's walking up the cliff. And he looks at me and he's like, where were you? And I was like, oh, I was like on the phone. And he's like, let me see your phone. So I give him my phone. He goes through it for like 5 seconds and gives it back to me. And that's when
Hold on. There's no way. I just Karen, I don't know if you're on this segment, bro, but there's no way you're blaming her. You're saying it's her fault too. Are you watching the same thing we're watching? There's no way, dude. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt though. I don't know if you're on this segment though.
That's when I noticed there's this other guy with him. And the guy's like, hey, your boyfriend is like really intoxicated, I think, right now. So I'm going to take you guys to go get pizza, have him sober up, and then you guys can ride your mopeds back home because I just don't feel safe with him riding right now. And I was like, yeah, of course, like that's fine. So at this point, we're all standing around the mopeds. And the guy walks away with Emma, I'm pretty sure. And they go like grab keys or something. I don't know. They were just gone. And that's when my boyfriend looks at me like 5 seconds after going through my phone and goes, let me see your phone again. And at that point, I'm like, no, I'm not letting you go through my phone. Like, you just had it 5 seconds ago. You went through it. You went on my Snapchat. You went, like, just, I'm not giving my phone again. Like, that's so OD. I want my phone. And he was so intoxicated at this point that, like, I didn't even want him to have my phone. So, that obviously pissed him off. And, he's like, no, I'm going to go through your phone. And he grabs my wrist and he slams me up against a brick wall, like, as hard as he could. And he has my wrist, like, strangling up against the wall. And he's, like, trying to get my phone. And that's when the guy comes up back from the car. And he's like, get your hands off of her. Like, don't be so aggressive with her. So my boyfriend turns around and starts trying to fight that guy. The guy who was literally about to go get us pizza and drive us, like, for what? And he's like, don't tell me what to do, don't tell me what to do. And that's when Emma starts screaming at him and it's like, don't touch her like that, don't be aggressive with her, like, we all just saw that, like, what is wrong with you? So he starts screaming at Emma and the guy, and I remember, like, a flip switched in my head, and I just started sobbing, and I took off down the road away from everybody. And I remember I told myself, the day that I tell my mom the truth is the day that I'll leave. So, I run far away, like, down the street, and I sit on a curb, and I call my mom. And, I tell her that, he had been abusing me for the past 9 months. And that he had just done it again in front of everybody, and I didn't know what to do. So, I told her. And I was like, please don't tell anybody. I'm really scared. I've been keeping it a secret from everybody, but, this has been happening. And at that point, Emma and the guy come up to me, and, I tell them that he had been abusing me for 9 months. And I start showing them videos, because, even Emma didn't know how bad it was. I had never, like, confirmed
Evelyn, thank you so much for the $1. Appreciate that.
It to her. So I didn't want her. I was embarrassed. And so at that point, everybody just was like, you can't be around him anymore, and everybody's crying. And we end up getting in the car with the guy, and he's like, I'm gonna take you guys to get pizza. You need to stay away from that guy. He's dangerous. So we get in the car, and at this point, my boyfriend had taken his moped and driven. I don't even know where, but he had, like, driven somewhere off on his moped. And I get back to the Airbnb that night, and all of his stuff is gone. And so I call him, and I'm like, you know, wish you could have broken up with me in person, but it's done, I guess. You broke up with me. I told my mom, whatever. And he ends up driving his moped back to the Airbnb like 3 hours later. And he's like, let's go on a walk. I'll never forget this either. He told me to go on a walk that night.
No.
I was scared to go on a walk with him. Like, I was scared.
Yeah, no,
And it's like, I know, solidified it in my mind that this couldn't go on
no.
anymore. Like, why am I scared to go on a walk? Like, why am I scared to go on a walk with you at night in Hawaii? So we sit down on the beach and we talk for like 3 hours. And I was crying so much, I was like projectile vomiting in the sand. And I was like, I told my mom everything. And he's like, no, I don't want to break up, whatever. Basically just crying for me back.
Nope.
We get back to the Airbnb and I'm like, I don't want you sleeping in the room with me, because at this point we also had 3 more days to the trip in Hawaii. And I was like, I don't want you sleeping in the bed with me. Brandon and Emma are scared of you. I want you on the couch. He refused. He slept in the bed with me. I woke up the next morning to him cuddling, and I like shoved him off. And the next morning I called my mom, and the whole time he was in the room having me go on mute and telling me what to say back to my mom so that she wouldn't hate him, to the point where I ran outside when he wasn't looking. I just ran outside and I put the phone up to my ear and I'm like, he's having me say this stuff to you. He has been assaulting me and abusing me. And
Yo, as a guy that you did all that shit, bro, it's better for you just to go home, bro. Pack your shit and leave. Buy your ticket, bro. You literally embarrassed her. You literally threatened her in front of everybody, dog. Just fucking get up and leave, dude.
After that, we spent 2 more days in Hawaii, and he tried to act like the perfect boyfriend, but I was already done at that point. So I get back home, and he goes back to Nashville, and we were still communicating on a break so that he could fix himself. Obviously, that didn't work. On January 25th, I ended up breaking up with him. And the reason I ended up breaking up with him officially was because a girl came up to me at a house party. And she told me that she's been going through this for 5 years. And then I realized it would never change, and he would never stop hitting me, and he would never stop hating me, and he would never love me. But I'll get more into that in another one.
Damn, there's more, bro. There's more.
This was sometime in...
All right, here we go. Damn. Shout out to Kayla, though, for being brave and putting on her story.
This was sometime in July. I don't know if I'm ready to retell this story. I told it in part 2. I don't know how graphic I can get about this story because it's pretty fucked up. This was sometime in July, in the beginning of our relationship. During this time, I was in a really, 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 really bad mind space because my dad had stopped talking to me. And he knew this. He knew that I was very depressed at this point in time. I was very depressed at this time, and he knew that. So I don't know what day it was, but we were in the kitchen arguing about I don't know what. And he's just calling me names, and I'm just crying. I'm like, what are you mad about right now? And he looks at me straight in the face, and he goes, you should fucking yourself.
Oh, my God.
Looks at me in the face and goes, you should fucking yourself.
Hopefully, where is this fucking punching bag?
And I was already in a really bad mental state, so I was like, fuck, I don't know if I can tell this story. It's like really, really bad. This is what I'll never forget. I don't know how in detail I can get this, but he looks at me and he says that, and then he hands me Skittles. If you know, he hands me some Skittles, and after saying you should, he hands me a thing of Skittles, and I eat half of the Skittles, but then immediately spit them on the ground because I was like, I'm not.
Wait. She's not talking about real Skittles, right? Okay, you guys could put to... Oh, hey. What a fucking piece of shit, dude. What a fucking ass. Yeah, dude.
I'm not doing that. Moment of weakness. You really, hit me hard right now. I'm really depressed right now. You told me to myself, and then handed me some Skittles. So I put them, I spit them out. And he's like, did you eat those Skittles? And I'm like, no, they're all over the floor. I just, you told me to do it. I don't know. I'm really, really depressed right now. I don't know. And he's just going on and on. I know you ate those Skittles. I know you ate those Skittles. And I'm like, no, I didn't. By now we've been arguing about the Skittles for 15 minutes, even though you're the one that handed that to me and told me to.
Bro, you literally... Sorry, here's my crash out. Sorry. You literally told her to eat the Skittles. And you're mad that she ate the Skittles. Sorry, I'm gonna play my crash out song.
Help me, bro.
Oh my God, dude.
And then handed me, how fucking manipulative is that, dude? So we're arguing for 15 minutes about him. I didn't take her all over the floor. I had poured the Skittles, the rest of them all over the floor. And I'm like, I didn't, at this point, you would see if I did. I'm talking to you coherently. And he looks at me and he goes, I'm going to call the cops on you. And I'm like, he's like, I know you took those Skittles. And he's like, I'm going to call him. And I'm like, what? I didn't take the Skittles. And he looks at me and he goes, no, I want to I want to see you sit in jail like I did. And at that point, he calls the cop.
For what reason? Bro, what reason? I would have said, please call him. Yeah. Dude, what was the reason?
Because that's the reason.
And I go in my room and I'm just sobbing because I'm like, you just told me to myself, handed me Skittles. The Skittles and then spilt them everywhere. I was like, I'm not doing that. Like, I don't even know why I did it. I was like really depressed, moment of weakness. And I was just like, oh, I'm not doing that. So the cops end up getting there. And we walk down the stairs in my front, off of my front door. And he looks at me and he's like, I want you to sit in a cell just like I did so you know how it feels. So basically he was trying to say.
Okay, for the people that are confused with Skittles, he did not hand her actual Skittles. Okay. She just used Skittles, the word Skittles, because it's TikTok. Yeah, it was pastillas, dude. It was some Tylenol, some Advil, whatever, dude. But she just said Skittles because she's on TikTok.
Me up to get me Baker acted or something. So, I was depressed and he wanted me to sit in jail like he did or some shit. I don't know. So we go up to the cops and the cop is like, hey, you okay? And I'm like, yep. He thinks I did something, but I didn't. And the cop checked me out and he was like, you're fine. I know you're fine. I can tell you're talking to me. And he looks at me and he's like, yo, your boyfriend cares a lot about you to call this in.
Oh, hell, bro.
Shit.
I would have crashed out. If the... Oh, hell no.
Hit me in the gut so hard. So they leave and we go back up the stairs and he looks at me and he's like, God damn it. I wanted to see them take you away in cuffs. And then we walk back up the stairs and he doesn't talk to me for the rest of the night. That story's hard because it's like very vulnerable for me because I don't know, but it kind of just shows how fucking crazy shit was. And like a few days later or whatever, he ended up grabbing all the Skittles off the floor and he used them. And these Skittles were things that helped me with my period. I would take them because I have like endometriosis, whatever it's called, and I get really bad cramps. And yeah, I don't know.
Damn.
But yeah,
Damn, John. This is really triggering. I'm sorry, man. If you've gone through this, I'm sorry. You guys don't have to see this, but it needs to be fucking talked about.
But yeah, January 25th, I ended up finally cutting it off with him. And it was because I realized it wouldn't stop, and he wouldn't stop hitting me. He wouldn't stop hating me. He would never love me. And I opened my eyes to the fact that he never did love me. He resented me and he hated me. That man hated me. He did not love me. He did not love me. And that was the hardest thing to come to terms with, was that the past 9 months of my life was a performative act to him and fucking hell to me. The whole 9 months, it was an act for him to get what he wanted and to take his anger out. And to me, it was my life. And that's the hardest thing to come to terms with. I still think I have, but it was all a lie. He did not love me. He didn't love me from the day we met. He just saw what he could get out of me. And he saw that I was in a fragile state of mind, and he knew he could get what he wanted, and oh boy, did he. He got exactly what he wanted. But yeah, I just, it was like a light bulb came on. I'm forever grateful it did, because I know if I didn't leave, he would have killed me. And I think about it all the time, because we were supposed to get an apartment together. And I remember near the end of our relationship, when we were talking about getting an apartment together after he had been physical with me a lot, I was so scared of the idea of living alone with him. I was so scared. But I found comfort in the idea of it being an apartment, because if I was screaming, somebody would be able to hear me. But I know that if we got that apartment together, it would have been the last place I ever lived. So I'm forever grateful for whatever universal power gave me the light bulb switch to realize that he hates me. And that's why I titled the YouTube videos, He Doesn't Love You, because that's how I got out of the relationship, was realizing he doesn't love me and he hates me. And a man that does any of this shit does not fucking love you. A man that can even look at you and call you a bitch during an argument does not love you. He wouldn't call his mom a bitch. So he wouldn't put his hands on his mom. He wouldn't put his hands on his sister.
Nope.
So, yeah, I don't know. So, fuck, this actually just spiraled me. I have a lot more, I have a lot more, stories, unfortunately, but, that is basically the premise of the relationship. I talk a lot more about stuff in part 2, so, if you want the full stories and stuff like that, those are all in part 2, and then there's part 1, but I just wanted to go over some of the things talked about in part 2. So yeah, he doesn't love you. I'm gonna cry now. I love you guys, and for us. But
Damn. I think that was it. Yeah. Yeah, she obviously posted this too, but I don't even know if you could hear it.
But damn, my pussy's hella stretchy. Damn, my pussy's hella...
Okay, I cannot play this. But wow. Okay, so this is how we found out he was arrested, because she posted this honestly saying he was arrested. Yeah, so shout out. Dude, and it just, yeah, man. And it just pisses me off more because the one and only James motherfucking Charles, all right, someone that a lot of people in the Latino community, or some, not a lot, actually, most of them, don't want to say any names, okay, but James Charles was also involved. Someone here in the comment section said that James Charles bailed Evans out. Okay, Evan Johnson out. All right.
Allegations are coming out.
But here is a video that says James Charles allegedly supporting Evan Johnson. All right. Mind you, some of the Latinas still love James Charles. And it pisses me off so fucking much, dude. I'm sorry, bro. Like, bro, he was literally caught texting minors. And y'all still want to kick it with him. He's literally defending a guy, one of the worst people here, dog. Evan Johnson. And y'all still trying to be cool with him. Just because it's James Charles. Just because the name has a ring to it. Just because he has clout. Bro, James Charles should have fucking been canceled way fucking long ago, dude. Bro, it's embarrassing, bro. If you kick it with James Charles, I'm sorry. That's embarrassing. All right? Shotty Bay. Blessive. Laura Meyajo. Louis. Yoatzi. Oh, sorry. I could keep going, though.
Now that James Charles was supporting Kayla's abusive
Wilito. I could keep going.
ex, Evan Johnson. Now, before we get into it, these are all allegations and not a validation of truth. So this is Hunter Sellers, and he used to be Evan Johnson's friend. He has come out with multiple videos and receipts and now is on Kayla's side supporting her. In this video that Evan Johnson had posted, he says he was in contact with a very popular influencer. This influencer supposedly supported him and said that basically Kayla was just using this whole situation for clout. Now, Hunter alleges that that influencer was none other than James Charles.
Oh my god, dude, James Charles, I hope you did not say that, bro. Once again, this is all allegedly. I really hope you did not say, oh, she's doing this for clout. Oh, I really hope you didn't, bro.
If you don't remember, James and Kayla have collabed multiple times and are good friends. When Kayla and Evan broke up, she told James the reason because he was abusive. And allegedly, James responded, well, can I have him now? Kayla apparently thought this was a joke and just kind of moved on. Now, Hunter says that
Wait, what?
Kayla have collabed multiple times and are good friends. When Kayla and Evan broke up, she told James the reason because he was abusive. And allegedly, James responded, well, can I have him now?
Bro, Kayla told you the reason she broke up with him. That he was abusive, all this crazy shit he did to her. Your response was, can I have him now? Oh my gosh. Oh my god. That's James Charles for y'all.
Kayla apparently thought this was a joke and just kind of moved on. Now, Hunter says that Kayla called James Charles one day asking, are you with Evan, her ex-boyfriend? James says, no, why would I be with him? But that whole time on that phone call, James was right there with Evan. Supposedly, James is on Evan's side. Now, It is important to note that there is
Yeah, because fucking James Charles is a horn dog, bro. He don't give a shit if you're 15 or fucking 20. Or now, if you beat up your fucking girlfriend, dude. He don't care. He's a horn dog. All he wants to do is fucking... You. That's all he wants to do, bro. He literally admitted he likes younger guys.
not been any actual proof showing that James Charles is even involved in this as far as Evan goes. One thing is for sure, Evan is a manipulator. So this could all just be another manipulation, trying to get in between two friends. However, multiple people have said that James Charles has blocked them once they comment on his videos talking about this. He also said that all of his comments in support of Kayla have been deleted. But regardless of if James Charles actually is involved to this extent, I don't think that that should take away the attention from who the actual problem is, Evan Johnson. Kayla has posted so much evidence and proof that he is abusive. So bottom line, he is the problem. He is the abuser. For Kayla's sake, I hope that this is not true. Allegations.
Yeah, fucking cancel Evan Johnson, dude. Hold on. I want to see if what you guys said in the chat is actually for real. Because if James Charles bailed Evans out, that's fucking crazy. Oh shit, shout out to Rich Lux.
James Charles is in hot water over the accusations that he allegedly flew out Evan Johnson, 20 years old, off the heels of Evan Johnson being arrested on a charge of DA.
Dude, he's only 20 years old. Yeah, I mean, that's the right age, bro. That's the right age. That's how fucking James Charles likes him, bro.
Days after Kayla claimed to be in an abusive relationship. Now, we have text messages. We're going to go through the text messages for just a moment. There's a lot to go over.
Damn.
This wouldn't be the first time that James
Who put these up?
Charles is caught in any type of scandal dealing with straight guys. And we've defended James Charles in the past that sometimes
No, we didn't. No, we didn't. It's always been fuck James Charles to me, dude.
And prey on gay men for money, clout, fame. But what makes this interesting story is that Kayla's sister confirming James is involved and did support Evan knowing what he did. Then confirming it was because James wanted some D and Evan is closeted, ? Not sure, don't want to say for sure in case I understood it wrong. This is recent tea because in the text messages, James Charles is saying I'll be available around 11 LA time and that Coachella is his busiest time of year for him. And these are some conversations that were had. You can screenshot it. Go ahead. And then these, you can even screenshot these texts as well. Now, at the time of making this video, James Charles has not said anything at all. Whether
Bro, he ain't gonna say shit, bro. He ain't gonna say shit.
he did hook up with his friend's ex, whether he did fly the guy out for the weekend. It's been kind of hush-hush over there. So did this happen? Because you have people on Kayla's side saying it did. But given the totality of circumstances that people come out of the woodwork to try to get claim and fame.
All right, thank you, Rich. Thank you. Yeah, he don't got makeup on. That's why he looks different. But damn.